Hello, hello, it's me, Travis, and this is Frantic Purpose. Welcome back if you have returned. Welcome for the first time if you have not. What do I do here? Do I have to do it every time? Do I have to tell you what Frantic Purpose is? I guess I can. I just talk about stuff. My name's Travis. I'm an artist, musician, IT professional, and I talk about whatever I want on this podcast. And honestly, I don't know. This week, no clue. Sometimes, I don't know how you feel about your job, but a big part of my job is finding problems and solving problems. And off the bat, no one really tells you where the problems are. That's part of the job. And that's fine. The only place I really get tested is when I have to deal with other people. I generally enjoy most individuals, talking with most people. Cool. But some people, they test me. And I have to be professional and patient. And it's not only just with work. It's every time, every day. In my becoming an older man, I discovered that I'm more of an introvert than an extrovert. Though I am an excellent extrovert, you would never understand that the person that you're seeing and experiencing is slowly being drained of energy. And that's by design. I like people. Hell, I even love people. But if I ask a question that is very simple, that you have the answer to, and you answer my question with another question, oh man, that's not an answer. Even if you said, I don't know, that's okay too. But, I'm talking about, for example, do you have any water that I can drink? And this is just an example. Even from your perspective, right? I'm asking for water. So hey, he's thirsty. And you have the knowledge of your liquid supply. What you have, your offerings. Cool. And you could say either, no, I don't, or yes, I do. And it is my theory that we could save everybody enough, all the time in the world can be saved. If we all just agree to answer questions, an acceptable answer is I don't know, or I do not have liquids, or anything, negative or positive. The truth is the way. So if the truth is you don't have any, or you do, cool. As long as it's honest. That's key for me. If someone I just met, I flag as oh, this person's going to be honest all the time. This is going to be excellent. I don't even care. Some people get attached emotionally to if I say yes or if I say no, what will they think of me? Ditch it. Stop. You're not helping anyone. Stop it. Just don't do it. Okay? Be honest. When you're not honest, you waste time. And people who waste time are criminals. Time is our most valuable asset. And you know what? I'm starting to think we need laws about wasting people's time. We all get spam and stupid calls. And, we have a limited amount of time. You could lose money. Gain money. Most metrics in this world are modular, and you could add more or take away more. Time is not one of those elements. You are born and you will die. There is no it's different if you're you might die and a doctor's you're gonna die, but you don't die. That's not an extension of time. You may feel that way. Oh, I got a lot of time back. That's just going back to the unknown time, which is limited. So you may experience something like, oh, I'm afforded all this new time. It's not time that's new, it's time that is just returned. You know, crisis avoided. You now get to die another day, which I'm pretty sure is a 007 movie. What are you talking about, Travis? I don't know. It's Friday. This week was crazy. I don't like conventions. You know, I think a lot of people like conventions because it's a no work scenario, and people want to go and be at conventions. Most people, and you know what they do? They drink beer and they pretend they could solve problems. And they want it to have business case. But you know what? And I'm sorry if anyone I work with is listening to this. Not most conferences. Not for most people. And they're in my future. For me, I like doing work. So if I choose a conference, I have a very strict schedule for myself and what I will be delivering and my goals. This week was crazy. As I've gotten older, I also have gotten further and further away from wanting to drink anything alcoholic. You know, it just takes so much from you, you know? And as you get older, it takes more. And not that, like, I enjoy a drink. It's just now, I'm like, why? Why am I doing this? The answer is because when it comes down to it, one of my favorite activities is drinking beer or like a whiskey soda, watching baseball at the bar I like to go to. And it is peaceful, and I talk to no one. It is excellent. So I don't know if you guys have any of those secret fun. It's not even a secret. It's a well-known fact. I like to watch baseball and talk to nobody. I do like to watch baseball with Amanda and my family. That's a different thing. That's fine. But when it comes down to it, guys, men and women, those who don't identify as men or women, you got to have those secret codes. Like, what will just even me out? What will make me feel good? I'll tell you what makes me feel good. Watching baseball and not talking to anyone and having some beer. So that's cool. But I'm talking about drinking in excess. No desire. It's a waste of time. You are borrowing energy from the next day. Every plan you make while you're hammered is not real. It's just it's another dishonest area. Unless you're drinking with other drinkers. Okay, so let's get into this. This is actually pretty interesting. There are people who should never drink. And those people are the ones who have addiction issues. Go for it. Don't drink. Whatever. These are the people that if you drink or probably do anything in their life, they probably shouldn't because they have too much and they just keep going. They go through the roof. If you drink and you can't stop drinking, you have a problem. So then you have people who drink, but they do it socially. And they don't, and honestly, even then, they only have like 2, maybe. Cool. No big deal. They could still hang. They want to hang out, stay up late with the squad. Cool. You don't have to worry about those people because they're going to have 1 or 2 beers, and maybe they have a low tolerance, and they just want to hang out and have fun and have a laugh. That's cool. And then you have people who can drink and are not addicted. This is rare. And usually, the military pops out a few key products. Of course, about, just planes, trains, and automobiles that are equipped with guns or, killing other people we decide to kill. Besides that, one of the top 5 products that they make are drinkers. Because in the military, it is very traditional to get hammered. And so you really it really like you find out who is an addict and who could hang, who could drink, who could say no, who has control and who doesn't. And so in my life, I've always been worried about becoming an alcoholic. But that's not because I've ever had any issues myself. It's because I have my grandpa, both of my grandpas were alcoholics, Grandpa Bud and Grandpa Jim. And growing up, I remember my parents saying, watch out with booze because you might be an alcoholic. And I'm like, legit, I'm an auditor. I like to audit things. So as I was going through the military and as I was drinking, I started drinking when I was 15. Don't tell the cops. But I did. My cousin, Cameron, wanted to go get a little drunk at a party. Never done it before. It was fun. I was like, wow, this is crazy. It's crazy because booze tasted so different to me back then when you've never tasted it. It's really weird. So then I'm like, oh, I like this. And then as I continued to live my life, I was invited to more parties. And it was never an issue, It just was fun. And when I wasn't having a drink, I wasn't like, I need a drink. I've never been that way. I smoked cigarettes for a while. And I always told myself at 30, we're quitting. I'm like, okay. And then I turned 30. Guess what happened? We quit. I did. When I say we, I have a lot of internal monologue going on. But I quit. And that was it. I've never looked back. I've never smoked a cigarette since. It's been 6 years. Crazy. And with alcohol, I would monitor myself. I'd be like, okay, new base. Who dis? I'm just kidding. New base. And it's time to do an audit. We're not doing anything. We're doing a cleanse. No drinking for at least 3 to 4 weeks. Right? And one time I did this, and hopefully no virgin ears are listening. I didn't have sex for a whole year because I didn't want to do it. I was just like, time to go. I just like seeing what I am without things. Not that I was out here having all the sex. But it was just an active choice. I'm like, I want to stop drinking and I don't want to be involved with women was like the secret. Because in the end, no offense to ladies, I appreciate you in general as people, but holy crap. I needed to take a break. So I was like, a year, no sex, nothing. And I totally made it. It wasn't hard at all. And I think I don't even know if whatever. I don't know where I'm going. I guess my point is I audit myself all the time, and I take things away from myself that I like so that I could see how I operate without them. And that's okay. I think everyone should do that. I think everyone should be like, I really like ice cream, so I'm not going to have ice cream for a month. Or like when I go to the gym, I'm like, what do I hate to do? We are doing that today. I'm like, oh man, that sucks. But it helps you grow as a person. So when it comes to booze, I've audited myself many times and I found out, I didn't go through withdrawals. Saying no was easy. This is vitamins. And no booze in this. That would have been hilarious though. I just don't have an addictive personality. Like literally, before I got married, the whole year. So I got married in last year, November 11th, 2023. And from January to that date, I greenlit myself to go to Vegas as much as I wanted. Mostly because I wanted to figure out if you could beat Vegas or come up with systems that are more reliable. Like, can you bet smart and make money? That's what I wanted to know. Can I get comps? Can I get free stuff? Can I get free cruises? Free concerts? Free trips to the Bahamas? Answer to all that is yes. I did. And I do. And it's great. And then I said, after we got married, I'm like, we're going to throttle back on Vegas, even though I love Vegas. I could have a whole podcast on just that and my strategies and how fun and where to go and my future with Vegas. But I told Amanda, I'm like, that was just a one-time thing. Everyone was like, you're going to go to Vegas forever. I'm like, you guys don't understand. I'm not. This is just a proof of concept. So that when I do go gamble again, I'll win. Or at least hedge my bets to win. So guess what your boy Travis did? When did I go to Vegas last? I think it was in November for the honeymoon was the first time. Or last time. And it was sad. And I remember being sad as I left, knowing that I wouldn't be coming back as frequently. But it's okay. That's it. So I haven't been to Vegas one time this year. I am booked to go twice. And one of them is for Amanda. You know, she wanted to go see the Killers' 20-year anniversary of Hot Fuss. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. We got VIP tickets, easy peasy. Love Vegas. We're going in June with the full comp at Luxor for pool season because you got to go when it's hot and you could get in them pools. And we have this thing called the Lemonade of Truth because they sell these great, humongous boozy lemonades at all pools everywhere in Vegas. And one time, Amanda hadn't opened up to me about a bunch of stuff, and we're in the middle of the pool, and I have my hat on, you know, I'm full like Vegas mode. We were both having lemonades, and then she started crying, and she admitted a lot of stuff to me that I didn't know. So from that point on, we called those drinks lemonades of truth, because it just makes you say what's on your mind, which is great. That's my deal. All this to say, to prove to you that I don't have an addictive personality. I like to practice existing on this planet with as little substance as I can. I would rather do it full just straight up sober, right? And I do, and I have on purpose. But it comes back to I enjoy watching baseball and drinking beer. Period. That's okay. That's responsible. What I don't do anymore, or at least very rarely, like I know a person who I will drink with whenever he asks because this man is important to me. He's also one of my mentors. And, you know, I have deep respect, and that's okay. He likes to go hard. He doesn't do any shots. He just drinks like all the beer. And you may think, haha, that's funny. Like what, like 6 or 8 beers? And I'll be like, yeah, no, like all of the beer. We look for the beer. We drink all the beer. And I have to practice saying no to him. And the issue is more so just me being able to be like, hey, have a few and then go home. But you know, I have so much compassion for this person and respect that it's hard for me to do, admittedly. So, yeah, right now, like I haven't bought whiskey, I think in a month and a half or 2 months, which is crazy. I love whiskey. Like I'm a connoisseur of drink. It is something I like. And it's interesting to be so far away from where I was. The military was crazy. Crazy. One time, so in Guam, I was in combat communication, which is basically doing IT, but you're issued weapons, and the expectation is that maybe you'll go help Spec Ops set up a network. That's it. And we were in Guam, and somehow I managed to get I managed to live in a beach house downtown Tumon, which was like the happening spot. Guam is insane. I don't know if you know anything about Guam, but the rich poor contrast is crazy. So Tumon is like bougie hotels, Louis Vuitton, Dior, like all this high end stuff. Across the street from that are strip clubs and gun ranges, and there's hella bars. It almost seems like the military built it itself, but it didn't. It just responded to their main, the military. There's a lot of presence there. The Navy's there, the Air Force is there, and like the people are 50% happy, 50% pissed, and that's okay. I feel like anywhere the military is, I expect them to be half pissed, half happy. We're there. We contributed to the economy, but Guam, living on the beach in that beach house, we had epic parties. And between me and the people that lived in that house, we were very social, very nice people. So we just had we knew all these people on the island, that they would always come over. And then one time, this one guy who was having issues in his marriage and all these things, deep sadness, but he was high ranking. We found him on the beach, passed out at like 3 a.m, which was crazy. We carried him back to our home so that he could be on a couch instead of passed out on the beach. So you would just experience all these levels of using alcohol, and then it's ingrained in the military. Not wanting to drink was not good. It was definitely like, you want to be accepted? Have some beers, have some drinks, learn to drink, whatever. And then people would die. And we kept on having all these sexual assault preventions and all these other briefings. I think the main briefing should have been, stop drinking yourself to death. Stop drinking yourself to death and driving and dying. Which is crazy. Like for me, most of the people that I lost in the military were because of either suicide or drunk incidents. And I almost lost a friend too. He got hit by a drunk driver while he was drunk in Guam. We're crazy. I mean, it changed his life, but he recovered. And alcohol in general is terrible. You know this. No, everyone knows. Alcohol is terrible. Like the fact that, say what you want about weed. Weed was a Schedule 1 drug forever. Heroin is a Schedule 1 drug. Okay? Heroin will steal your soul and then convince you to steal everything from people you love so that you can continue having a relationship with heroin. It will ruin your life, period. That is my position. Weed is not that. No one ever did weed and was like, I'm going to go beat my wife. Because it's just not a product it's not the product. You don't do that. And it's so insane to me. And I like that alcohol is literally everywhere. Everywhere. Family environments. It's a Chuck E. Cheese. Like our worldwide acceptance of alcohol is bananas. Bonkers. This is a substance that will kill you. And it's funny. No, it's not funny. But it's interesting that we always talk about, what should be available. Should all drugs be legal? Should they not be legal? And it's like, it's irrelevant. We have one drug that is absolutely legal, and it destroys people, families, lineages of people, young people. People have their lives stolen. They could never drink in their life, and they could get. I think my grandpa Jim was hit by a drunk driver. I'm pretty sure he was drunk. A young man who was driving hit my grandpa, and he died. And people are like, but should we legalize everything? It's like, in my point of view, yeah. Yeah, we already have probably the worst one that is legal, in my opinion. Like, at least, you could have someone in Guam, another Guam story. There is a person who did good work and never screwed up. That person was hit by a car. They did a blood test on that person, the perfectly fine individual that no one had any inclination about. And it turned out this person had a ridiculous blood alcohol content all the time. And no one knew because they're functional. They're a functional alcoholic. They figured it out. Essentially, some people, like, we are being allowed to medicate ourselves in certain ways. Alcohol will medicate. Like, if you're drinking a lot, it usually means you're suffering from some kind of onset version of anxiety or depression based on your environment. This is very normal for people. Like, we each medicate in our own way. Some people overeat, some people drink. It takes a lot of forms, but one is very common, and that's when you're in a pit, you go drink, and it's been legal forever. We tried to not make it. We tried to do prohibition, and then crime happened. Then, excuse me, it's a high pollen day today. Beautiful day. Baseball today, Mother's Day, with my mom, but. Like, join me in this crazy conversation. How can you have the argument that people do meth? They're all in San Francisco. People do heroin. People use fentanyl. People put fentanyl in like everything, and it kills people. This is all actively happening. So the people who want to do meth are doing meth. And in my mind, I'm like, if you made it all legal and you regulated it and you taxed it and you ensured quality of the product, how is that different? Other than, like, hopefully you're cutting out crime, and someone would be like, well, then people will get super screwed up. Cool. They already do with booze. That's my argument. Like, and as I grow older, I find that I'm more libertarian than ever. And I appreciate, like, give everyone the freedom to do whatever they want. To an extent. I'm not saying murder or like any harsh crimes. I'm saying that if I want to ingest anything into my own body, if I like, it really aligns with the whole my body, my choice thing, which is another interesting argument. So let's say my body, my choice is something that we could all respect. Sounds good to me. If you want to get an abortion, it is your right to do it. And there's available places where I live, and if they're not available where you live, there are private organizations that will happily fly you where you need to go and fund you. This is the truth. So, cool. My body, my choice. Why can't I sell my body? Not that I want to, but if I did, why can't I? Why is that illegal? Why I can't get paid for my services? I can't sell my sexuality? How is that regulated? That's interesting. Why? Tell me. And then, like, I know that it has roots in, like, religion and all these things. But if we're going to go to the table with my body, my choice, apply it to sex trade, which is done, successfully throughout the world. Why don't we do it? We do in Nevada, certain counties. But it's the same thing. You could regulate, tax, and people are protected. You could have a positive impact on human trafficking. You could help to stop this horrendous crime that's happening because some people have no choice whatever. Like, there's criminals take advantage of regular people all the time by making them sex workers and holding their passports hostage. They told me that in Portugal when I first got there. So if it is my body, my choice, and then why can't I sell my body? Why can't I put any substance in my body? That doesn't track. It doesn't make sense. It's a component of, like, the government trying to protect its citizens. They think if we make it illegal, Most people won't do it. It's like, maybe, dude. But where are you enforcing this? Like, is the opioid crisis still huge? I believe so, and that's like through regulated means. Like, where are the rules? You can't, like, literally. I found out for the first time in my adult life when I was about to go overseas for my job to London and Paris, and I was like, man, I was prescribed these anxiety like pills to be taken like ad hoc whenever I had an issue, and they're very small, but they did a good job. Um, I discovered that my doctor is essentially my drug dealer when I messaged him and was like, I have anxiety and I like, I would love to have this same pill but more in a higher dose. My doctor was like, sure, send me the prescription. Nothing else. And then all of a sudden I have these pills, a bottle of these pills that are insane. Like, I took this dose. It was crazy. Stand by. But he just gave them to me. And the person who gave it to me before, I literally told that doctor I don't like taking pills because I don't like having any reliance on anything. If I go to sleep, I want it to be like natural sleep. And she's like, oh, okay, well, I just prescribed it anyway. You can pick it up or not. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, oh my God, can I just call my doctor and be like, hey, can you hook me up with like this? And then if you have like a reason, not even a huge reason, I could just get it. So like I didn't even take them. They gave me nightmare. I'd had like a 2 and I had terrible nightmares. So I stopped. It was terrible. But like, wow. As a country, America needs to get its crap straight in like a million different ways. Because we're so hypocritical, man. We are hypocritical. Like, what makes it up to the top tier of politics? Like, oh, we need to like control guns. And I'm like, sure, we do. We control guns. We do. We need to stop mass murders. It's like, sure, we do. But maybe we should not be attacking like these obscure things that we make zero movement on, by the way. It's just like this loud, oh, we need to do it, and no one does anything. And I literally tweeted at Joe Biden, like, you could literally make it illegal with an executive order for the general public to buy guns today. But he doesn't. He won't. Why would he? It would cause an incredible problem. And it's like, whatever. We could put that on hold anyway. We've essentially been doing it since like that shooting in Aurora back in the day when I was a kid. What was it? Bowling for Columbine or whatever? Like it's insane. No one's been doing anything about that because it's an anomalous problem. It's hard to find out who a murderer is when they've never murdered anybody and they're a child. And they just go pick up a gun and they shoot up a school and then they usually kill themselves. That is a hard problem to solve. Easier problem is, like, how are we dealing with substance in America? Weirdly, we are. Legalized. Booze have been legal forever. There are bars all over the place. There are specials. You could just go in fully, like, it's weird because you could totally go, and people do it all the time. Just kill yourself with booze. Happens all the time. You could kill yourself with food. Happens all the time. One of the number one ways Americans die because they have bad blood and they've been eating too much and they have blood pressure and they have a heart attack and cardiac arrest. Boom, you're dead. You know, the people who die from heroin, I assume, I haven't looked. I'll look after. I'm going to say they're less. I'm going to say heroin deaths are less than booze deaths. Let's see here. How many people die from heroin overdose in America a year? Okay. 9,000 people a year die from heroin overdose. 9,000. And they have decreased by a lot for some reason. I don't know. Let's go ahead and change heroin with alcohol. Alcohol. Yeah. I mean, like, total, there's several categories. So I will just go off the main one. 61,063 people. And that's from like all acute causes. So that's a number I'll give you. It's from the CDC. So if you want to Google it, Google away. Um, so yeah, I don't know. Is the problem heroin? No. 9,000 people a year die. 9,000. So it's like, is the worry that if we legalize heroin, more people will die? I feel like the more I hear about it, like we have like clear tools to fight against heroin overdose. And the issue is heroin has such an incredible way of like making your body depend on it that the withdrawals, well, same thing with booze, could kill you and have killed people. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just whack. I sit here, and a large portion of like people always want to talk about this stuff, but they're always saying everyone's just echoing the same crap. It's like no one wants to solve the problem; they just want to echo what their party is saying, and we're no one's solving any problems. We're all just pretending. I don't know. Per year, I've never felt the weight of the presidency on my shoulders by their changes or anything. I think the loudest presidency was Trump for sure. And I don't know. I just kind of spun out talking about alcohol because it's insane. So next time someone says anything about, legalizing drugs, what if, what have you, blah blah blah, it's like we already have fully legal a substance that people kill themselves and kill others with all the time. And the component of heroin is another one, kind of like when you do heroin, you're not active. It, from what I understand, it knocks you out. So it's like, okay, if people do more heroin, they will damage themselves and they'll probably damage their family. Okay. But they'll damage themselves in a very like personal way, and then they will go out and try to steal and get more so they could get more heroin. Comparatively, booze destroys families, just like heroin. It's very addictive for some people. It has an incredible withdrawal that could kill you depending on how deep you're in that hole. And weird. Why not heroin, I guess? Why not crack and meth and cocaine? Why not regulate it and make it safer so that at least people aren't dying of fentanyl being randomly in their drugs they buy from their local criminal? I don't know. I don't solve these problems. I solve none of these problems. There's no real platform. I mean, I can't say that. I'm not going to put in the energy to campaign and do all this crap because I'm just not going to do it. Not now, anyway. But it's a joke. Like all these things we all argue about, there is a very common answer that most people should be like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, why is booze legal? Why can't I sell myself for sex? All these things. I know it's silly, but it's weird. Like, my body, my choice. If I want to die face down, and that's part of the reason why I like Vegas. Vegas supports and is known worldwide as Sin City. You could go to Vegas and you could happily lose all your money, get very depressed, take out a loan, lose that, get someone to sell you drugs, and that's it. All right. Well, do with that what you will. Have a great weekend, guys. That's all I got. Drink all you want. Just don't, be nice to yourself. Be nice to each other. Bye bye.